Hey everybody, this is Brian. Welcome to Chiller Night Live. We're from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 o'clock. We'll talk about all things horror, science fiction, and the paranormal. You pick a topic and we'll make a show out of it. That's the idea of it anyway. So let's see. Stephanie says, "Hey y'all. Hey Stephanie, thanks for joining us." That's Patty. Hey, hi all. Hey Patty, thanks for joining us. Ravenscroft. Hey everyone. There's Al. Hi everyone. Hey Ravenscroft and Al. Thanks for joining us. Very cool. Well, all right. So hopefully everybody can see and hear me okay. Doing a lot of updates on here, so I really don't know what works and what doesn't until now. So sometimes this is trial by fire, but that's all right. I've been very, very busy. A lot of good things going on. A lot of good things. So that's nice to see. We got some folks here right out the gate for another night of Chiller Night Live. We do have. I'll wait for a few minutes here. I'll wait for, hopefully SBC joins us, because he picked the topic for tonight. The topic is, where is it? Western horror movies. So that's tonight's topic, Western horror movies. We'll be talking about that in just a bit. Hopefully, SBC will join us when we get to that point. Let's see. Paul says, "Hey there, Chiller family. How is everyone doing today? Sis Ava doing okay. Mom and I are doing well. Love you guys." All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Paul. Very happy to hear that you and your mom are doing good. And Ava's doing fantastic. I think she's watching a Netflix series right now. Forget what the name of it is. It's a weird one. It's a weird show. Just only stands to reason. D says, "Good evening, everyone." Good evening, D. Bob. Hey, Bob. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Hoagie. Glad to see you there amongst everyone. Dominic says, "Good evening, everyone." Hey, Dominic. Thanks for joining us. All right. We got quite a good group going on there. Yeah. All right, so I will put the, again, tonight's topic is Western horror movies. SBC thought of this several weeks ago. And so, love the shirt, Paul says. Thank you, thank you. Oh, there's SBC. Hello, everyone. Hey, SBC. I wanted to wait for you before we started our Western horror movie thing. Curse of the Undead. Gallo Walkers, Valley of Guanji, Cowboys and Dinosaurs. Cowboys and Dinosaurs. So there you go. Those sound. Some of those sound a lot better than the ones that I just every week, whatever the topic is, I like to just grab a random list and go down the random list, because you guys certainly do your fair share, and I know whatever list I have, you guys are going to do a fantastic job coming up with choices of your own here. Stephanie says, "My mom and I had two celebrations last week. Thursday was opening day for Cincinnati Reds, and Saturday was my mom's birthday." Oh, well, tell your mom happy belated birthday from us. And I haven't followed baseball. I know baseball just started back up for baseball season, but did they win? Did your team win? Hopefully it did. Let's see. Brian says, "Hello all." Hey Brian, thanks for joining us. And the little bit of news. Oh, Raymond, I don't know if he'll be on here tonight, but he sent me that's pretty neat. In Messenger, he sent me this footage of Mr. and Mrs. Armstrong watching their son Neil Armstrong taking off in the Let me see if I can pull that up. I won't be able to show it to you by any means, but I just thought that was so, because one of my very first notes here is about tomorrow. The Artemis 2 launches into space, doing a trip around the moon. Stephen Armstrong and Viola Armstrong watching their son, Neil Armstrong, land on the moon. He wasn't just taking off, he was landing. July 20th, 1969. That's very, very cool. That is so neat. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? So that's pretty exciting. I've been really excited about this, the Artemis 2, and what NASA's doing and what everything SpaceX is doing. So it looks like we're headed in the right direction. Onward, future. All right. SBC says happy birthday to Stephanie's mom. Dominic says, unless there was another birthday, I think that was it. Dominic says the only one I know is Billy the Kid versus Dracula. Pretty good watch, yeah. And also, there's Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter. That Jack Shadow actually presented one time on ChillerNight Theater. Stephanie says on the opening day, but on Mom's birthday. Not on the opening day, no, but on Mom's birthday, yes. Ah, okay, well that's cool. There's my baby Ava sending a heart. Now she's on Facebook. Some of you are on Facebook. There's John. Hi, Brian. Mr. Lucasfilm here. Hey, John. Thanks for joining us. Raymond, I was just mentioning you. I was just telling everybody about the, maybe you heard about the little video clip that you sent me on Messenger. I thought that was really cool because my first note for tonight was mentioning the Artemis 2 launching tomorrow, taking humankind further than we've ever been in space before, taking a nice long trip around the moon, and then we'll be heading back. And so that might not sound as exciting as landing on the moon, perhaps, but I mean, to me, I just think that's so cool. Around the moon and back. I mean, that's just the I can't even say the first step of many. I mean, or is it? I mean, there's a lot of ideas about that, whether we really went to the moon. Paul says the other one I could think of is Billy the Kid meet Frankenstein daughter. Yep, Jesse. Yep, close. Jesse James, Billy the Kid. He's Billy Kid versus Dracula was the other one that Dominic mentioned. But yeah, yep. D says, I'm not a Western theme fan of any kind, so I have almost zero input tonight. I'll be sitting back and learning tonight. Maybe you'll be sitting back with Bonehead. Maybe Bonehead will yeah, hey, where's Bones, Stephanie says. Near Dark is vampire Western as well as Sundown. Very cool. Oh, now Ava's on YouTube. Hello, everyone. Hey, baby. SBC says, the moon located a few miles outside of Las Vegas. Maybe. You never know. John says, The Burrowers and Blood Moon, Western horror movies. Not old movies at all. Look them up. Yeah. Some of these that have been mentioned already are on the list that I'm about to show. Paul says, we're watching the launch here. P.S. Jason X. What? Bob says Bone Tomahawk. Yeah, Kurt Russell was awesome in that. Great fights, great gore, but not so generous. It was overly grody. Great special effects, and it kind of reminded me of the movie The 13th Warrior, which is a spin-off of the book Beowulf. Very cool. I remember reading that when I was in high school, Beowulf. Dominic says, it's hard to believe it took us this long to get to the moon and back. The last time was in the 70s, I think I heard. It's been a while, isn't it? There's Bonehead. Hey, hello to Brian, Miss Ava, and the lovely ladies of Scream in the Chiller family. And howdy to the whole ChillerNight crew. Hey, Bona, thanks for joining us. And tell Miss Glamfangs we said hello if you happen to see her. Let's see, there's some salutations back. There was a 1970s TV Western horror called Black Noon. Is that right? Black Noon? Black Noon. Or is that Black Moon? I don't know if that's a typo, but that's cool. I wasn't aware of that. Manos meets Hondo, SBC says. Paul said, I remember the last Apollo launch. They always had a jar of Tang launching like a rocket. Jason X was in space. Oh, is that right? I remember Jason X. I have a copy of that movie, yeah. Of course. Sorry, spell checker. That is hello, Ava. The Undead, 1959, Brian says. Very cool. Well, hey, without further hesitation, I will go down the list here. Now I'm going to go 10 down to 1. According to this list here, this is just a very generic Google search. I didn't go to any particular site. The first one is from 2016. It's not an old one. Daylight's End. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, the film follows a group of survivors battling against a horde of creatures. It incorporates Western themes and action, making it a thrilling watch for fans of both genres. I do see Lance Henriksen in there. Pretty neat. I've never seen that one. I've never seen it. And I don't know why this one's on here. The Quick and the Dead. It's not a. It says from 1995. Owner Sharon Stone and Gene Hackman. This film features a female gunslinger who enters a deadly quick draw competition. While not strictly horror, yeah, no kidding. It has dark themes and a gritty atmosphere that resonates with horror fans. Really, that's all it takes? Okay. Wouldn't have been on my list, but it's on a list. All right. The Dark and the Wicked. That's the next one. The Dark and the Wicked from 2020. You know, some of these are not very old at all. While primarily a horror film, it incorporates Western elements through its rural setting and themes of family and isolation. Doesn't seem like it's really a Western film, but all right. What are you gonna do? And this one here, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, 2014. This Iranian vampire Western features a female vampire who preys on men in a desolate town. Its unique style and storytelling make it a standout in both the horror and Western genres. I have not seen or heard of that one, but I'll take their word for it. All right, let me check here on the chats, see how we're doing. Let's see. Some salutations back and forth here. All right. Brian says Cowboys and Aliens, 2011. All right, yeah. Bunny says, I got a big mouth, don't I? I bet you's all heard that up north here, huh? Hey, how's your head doing? I hope your head's doing better. I know you were having some issues last week, so hopefully they gave you something to help you out. Ravencroft said, yeah, just because it has dead in the title doesn't make it horror. Geez, I know, that was really, yeah, not horror at all, SBC says. Yeah, not at all. Patty says, love Quick and the Dead, but Purgatory would have been a better choice. Yeah. Well, already you guys have had a much better selection of actual Western horror movies. Paul says, Blood Rain versus Billy the Kid. I've not heard of that one. Okay. John says, Sharon Stone's hometown is Meadville, PA, not far from here. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Yep, not far from here at all. Um, Ravencroft says, you can tell that AI is running these searches because they're not very accurate. Yeah. Oh, you think that's what? Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. It's got the word dead in it. And then what? Does it come up with a synopsis? You know? I don't know. Uh, let's see. Bennett says, Paul, I'm doing better this week. The migraines finally stopped on Sunday. And I got the VA labs appointment tomorrow morning, so hopefully I'll know what's going on. Oh, that's very good. Very good news. Paul says, cowboy versus vampire. I've not heard of that one. Bob says, was surprised Harrison Ford did Cowboy and Aliens. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was. I watched it. I was like, all right. It was a movie. Stephanie says, how his head honestly. Oh, okay. Which he. Okay, Stephanie says, I don't think The Quick and the Dead is a horror movie. No, I think we're all in agreement that The Quick and the Dead is definitely not a horror movie. It does fit half the words within the topic, in that it's a Western, but that is it. Western movie. Brad says, I had a clean bill of health. Hey, Brad, thanks for joining us at my doctor's office today. Now, that's awesome. How awesome is it? But not as awesome as when 1931 horror films Dracula and Frankenstein coming to the public domain this January. They are a coming. They are a coming. Good you could be with us tonight there, Brad. Manus would make a great sheriff. But it says, I got labs at the VA tomorrow morning, Brian. I'm hoping to find out what's going on when I see the VA doctor on the 8th of this month. I hope they gives you a clean bill of health. Brian says the Valley of the Guanji, 1969. Yep, Patty had mentioned that a little bit ago too. Yeah, that's definitely yeah. Why not? Paul says check out Blood Rains movies. And there's John, and now it's time again for the best reason for Tuesday night. It's time for Chiller Night Live. This is your introduction hype guy, Crozak the Grand, and now here's our host, Bryan Hogue. Thank you, Crozak the Grand, and John for the always awesome intros. Glad you could be with us tonight. Dominic says, would The Devil's Rain count as a Western horror? It would count a lot better than The Quick and the Dead, so sure, if there's even a sliver of doubt, we'll put it up here, because somebody put The Quick and the Dead up here. Apparently it doesn't matter. Alright, well, I'll put that back up just to kind of mark my spot here. With William Shatner, Dominic says, alright, that's cool. Yeah, I don't think some of these are like true Western. Well, we know Quick and the Dead. I mean, that's a given. But you know, more. I mean, maybe more of a, or maybe a modern Western genre, kind of like like Yellowstone's a modern Western. I remember seeing. Stephanie says, I remember seeing a movie about a ranch baroness hiring a vampire, but can't remember the name. Yeah. Let's see. Let me skip ahead here. SBC says, I did not like the ending of Cowboy versus Alien, but it was a nice idea. I actually, honestly, like, I know that I watched that, but I don't remember much about it. D says, Brian, I just realized we gave that exact same shirt. We have that exact same shirt. My kiddo and I fight over who gets to wear it, LOL. Yeah, I actually thought of that tonight, because you're wearing this shirt, well, similar shirt, in one of your photos with Jack Shadow. So, yeah, it's a cool one. Ava got me this one. John says, The Devil's Mistress, 1965, Western horror. I hope her blood work for her head comes out good tomorrow. Oh, for Bonehead. Yeah, I hope it. I hope it does for him. Let's see. Stephanie says, "That's Curse of the Undead." Curse of the Undead. John, what kind of do you have? A favorite genre of movies? I mean, it's pretty neat. You know, John used to work at Lucasfilm. I mean, that's pretty amazing. So, I just think that's really cool. Let's see. Reading some of these through. Let me get caught up a little bit. John says the Valley of the Guanji has cowboys defending against dinosaurs. Yeah. Raymond says Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter. Yes. It's been storming here, Brad says, in Erie County, PA. Yeah, we had a little bit of some of that thunder roll through here right before the show started. Bonin says, Paul, I guess we both have health issues. It sure stinks to get old, but it beats the alternative for sure. That it does. That it does. Let's see. John says another Western horror movie that comes to mind is The Black Scorpion. Black Scorpion. Brian says Westworld, 1973. John says Devil's Reign, not a Western horror, 1975. The one that Dominic said for William Shatner. Let's see. Well, Brad Beckwith, you had perfect weather to watch Dracula and Frankenstein, don't you? Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. SBC says, I used to read those horror magazines, the kind they sold at the gas stations. There was a series with horror westerns, very insane stuff. Really, that's cool. I mean, I love westerns. I love horror movies. So, pretty groovy mixing them together. D says, "Oh, I think I have one. How about Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat?" I've never seen that one, D. I've not seen that one. John says, "I love horror and sci-fi the most." All right, very cool, very cool. Bonin says, "Thank you to all members of ChillerNight crew. Best wishes, Ians are the best. Thanks again, all Ians." Oh, you bet, Bonehead. We're just glad you're with us, and we wish you the best. SBC says, Westworld is a great movie. Stephanie says, thanks, Paul, but Raven beat you to me. John says, I wish your audience all great health. Yes. Absolutely. Patty says, Purgatory is about a band of roving cowboy bandits coming across a town called Purgatory of former bad guys that are dead doing their penance and decide to take over the town. It's kind of cool if you go on and do any like searches on streaming, you know, the streaming channels. There are a lot of like relatively new Western movies with horror themes to them, and there's quite a bit of them actually. Let's see, where are we at here? Okay, the next movie, we are at number 6, Dead Birds. All right, this was from 2004. A group of Confederate soldiers seeks refuge in an abandoned plantation, only to find themselves haunted by supernatural forces. This film combines Western and horror elements effectively, creating a chilling atmosphere. And actually looked pretty good. They had another poster for that that looked really, really creepy. So I have to check that one out. The next one on this list is The Wind from 2018. Now, it's set in the 19th century. This psychological horror film follows a woman living in the frontier who begins to experience terrifying visions. It explores themes of isolation and madness in a hauntingly beautiful setting. I wonder if we saw that. Ava, if you're still on here, did we see that one? That one looks familiar to me. Did we see The Wind? That just looks familiar to me for some reason. We didn't? Okay. All right. Uh, From Dusk Till Dawn, 1996. Starting as a crime thriller, this film shifts into horror as a family encounters vampires in a remote bar. Its blend of genres and memorable performances make it a cult classic. That it does, I have no doubt. I'm not questioning that, but I wouldn't categorize it as a Western horror, but somebody here did. Um, Good movie, though. I mean, if you're just taking the location, if that's kind of a stretch, but oh well. What do you guys think? The next one is Ravenous from 1999. The film. This film tells the story of a military outpost during the 19th century that encounters a cannibalistic threat. It combines dark humor with horror, making it a unique entry into the genre. You know, I've never seen this movie. That looks pretty good too. Whether it is or not, it's anybody's guess, unless some of you have seen that. All right, let me get back to and then we'll do the last couple. Laura Ann says, "Hello, what's this?" Hey, Laura Ann, this is Chiller Night Live. Our topic tonight is we talk for an hour, just chatting with viewers and each other. Tonight's topic is Western horror movies. And also, Laura Ann, we have every Saturday night, I kind of direct folks to Stream TV. You can find that at streammedia.tv. Beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, every Saturday night, we'll have 4 movies. 4 chillers hosted by Jack Shadow. And so make sure that you check that out every Saturday night on Stream TV. As soon as we get done with this list, I'll talk about new episodes coming your way here this year of Chiller Night Theater. Thanks for joining us, Laura Ann. The Terror of Tiny Town, Little People Cowboys from 1938. I've not heard of that, Brian. Interesting. Dee says, it's a Bruce Campbell movie. He did it right after Evil Dead 1 and 2. Oh, is that right? How did I not hear about that? SBC says, Zombie Cowboy in House 2, 1987. Okay. Interesting. John says, I met Clint Eastwood 8 times in my life. I am from Monterey, California. Clint Eastwood is too. Such a great guy. Easy to talk to. Even my parents met him at the doctor's office. Oh, that is really cool. Clint Eastwood. Wow. That's pretty awesome. I mean, speaking of Western movies, yeah, he was absolutely one of my favorites. And we could kind of put him in a horror movie. He was in the Revenge of the Creature, played a little small bit part. Might have even been his first part, I don't recall, as the lab assistant guy. But that's really cool, John. Wow. Stephanie says, Black Scorpion. Jason says, good evening, fellow ghouls, and to our ghoulish leader, happy last day of March. Well, good evening to you, Jason. Yeah, last day of March. Tomorrow is April Fool's Day. And the launch day of Artemis 2, to the moon, around the moon. So, very, very cool. And isn't this, it just seems like it's going so fast. I guess you can say that about anything anymore, but that this Friday is Good Friday, and then Easter's this Sunday. Wow. Just, where's the time going? Dusk Till Dawn 3, Hangman's Daughter. Okay. I think I saw that one. I think that one probably fits the Western theme a bit more. Great movie, Ravencroft. I love High Plains Drifter. Classic Eastwood. Yeah. I've seen Ravenous. It has something to do with Wendigo. Stephanie says, is that right? Oh, that's cool. SBC says, I remember watching a Western horror anthology movie, but I don't remember the title. That's a neat idea. Patty says, how about Cannibal the Musical for Western horror? Hey, okay. I mean, I've never seen or heard it. We'll take your word for it. The Cannibal the Musical. Cannibal the Musical. That just sounds like a Ice Capades type of. Yeah. All right. Bonin says, I saw a horror movie about a skeleton Wendigo, but I unfortunately can't remember the name, but it's something. That one sounds familiar too, Bonin. I think I saw that one. I think I saw that one as well, and I can't remember the name. Tremors, SBC says, the part that is set in the Old West. Dominic says, halfway through the show, so I will do my reminder to hit that like button. Thank you, Dominic. Where would I be with that to remind me? I gotta remember this, because I tell you what, I do have to remember this. I gotta focus a little bit more on those. I will be having a companion channel that will be coming up also in June, when I have new episodes of Chiller Night Theater come on. The new episodes of Chiller Night Theater will be here, but they'll also be airing on Stream TV, and also the New York 48, the channel that was airing Chiller Night Theater about a year or two ago. But they're going to also run the 20 weeks in a row of Chiller Night Theater. New episode every week for 20 weeks, starting June 20th and ending on Halloween night. So that'll be a nice run. And there's some more stuff that's going to be coming, which is why I'm launching a companion channel, and I will be cross promoting, and I will definitely be saying hit that like and subscribe and all that good stuff, because I really gotta boost that membership up for that other one when it does launch, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we get a little closer to the launch date. It's not Artemis is not the only thing launching here, so yeah, thanks, Dominic. Bob says the movie The Missing could be considered a Western horror. There's a witch who steals a child, curses which takes the mom and her estranged father on an adventure. It's a great movie and worth a watch. The Missing. Very cool recommendation, Bob. Thank you. Let's see. Jason says, wasn't there a movie, Billy the Kid versus Dracula, John Carradine? Yeah. John Carradine. Yeah, John Carradine was probably in that. Yeah, I think he was. Was he Dracula in that movie? I don't know. John Carradine was in every movie in the 40s and 50s, I think. Along with John Agar, remember him? Ravencroft says, Clint Eastwood was also the pilot that incinerated the spider in Tarantula. Oh, is that right? I don't know how I didn't know that. Stephanie says, I heard that Clint Eastwood might have been in The Crawling Eye. Really? If he was, it was real quick, because I didn't see him in it. Might have been an extra. He was just starting out, you know. John says Clint Eastwood was based at Fort Ord Army Base. Ord? O-R-D? Army Base, 2 miles from my childhood home. That's neat. Patty says Clint Eastwood also in Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. He is the biker laying on the ground surrounded by tomatoes. Is that right? A lot of obscure little movies there Clint was involved with that you just don't think about. SBC says, seen this one too, but I have no idea what his name is. Ravencroft says, oh no, nobody's mentioned the Grim Prairie Tales. It's not that good, but it's a horror western. Okay. Manus would be a great Western musical. I'll take your word for it, Paul. Stephanie says, first of all, since Ashes Wednesday, and until Easter Day, my mom and I do Lent on Wednesdays and Fridays. Second, tomorrow in my state, Ohio, will be the first day of tornado season. Oh, geez. Well, that's, well, hopefully we don't have any tornadoes. We don't want that. Let's see. Wow, this is outstanding. There's a lot of, what did Patty send me? There's a lot of comments here. And then I'll get to the other movies in the countdown. Cannibal the Musical. She sent me that. And in a description of the movie, a synopsis of it. Jeez. What the heck? Cannibal the Musical. That's... Why? That's funny. John says, Duel is set in the western highways with Dennis Weaver being chased by the mysterious truck driver. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Jason says, Brian, your shirt is awesome. Thank you, Jason. Paul says, gotta go help Mom get ready for bed. Love you very much, family. See you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. I love you. Be safe out there. All right, Paul, thanks for joining us tonight. You and your mom have a wonderful evening. When it says SBC, I'm glad somebody else saw that movie. It's really not a bad one. Wish I could remember the name. I watched it on YouTube, so I may look later. All right. Brian says The Beast of Hollow Mountain, 1956. That sounds cool. I've not seen that one. But it says John Agar, the 50s leading man in monster movies. Him and Ken Toby. Yeah. Monster and kind of sci-fi. Yeah, he was in like everything. I think even Jack mentions that coming up, kind of making fun of that. John says client's first movie was Tarantula, Contract Player. Oh, Clint's first movie was Tarantula, Contract Player. Oh, is that right? That's cool. So it wasn't Revenge of the Creature. I remember him as the kind of a lab assistant. So he played his first part. His first part was a pilot, huh? Patty says sent a few pics, including the plot. Yes, yeah, very cool. John says you're becoming the next Bob Wilkins from the Bay Area. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of I think you guys are going to be, I'm hoping that you're going to be very thoroughly entertained in the chiller realm here coming up in June. I got 20 weeks. I've got 20 weeks of entertainment for you, and it's not just on Saturday nights. So it will be throughout the week as well. It'll be and we'll still have this show. So at least four nights a week there'll be something that you can check out. So let's see. SBC says, what is the name of the film in which the family is stranded with Tiercar in the ghost town, and then one after the other they disappear? I'm not sure, SBC. That sounds kind of creepy. John says, you should do the new revamped Creature Feature show. I would love to do something like that. I absolutely would. If they're public domain, or if I could get the license to do something like that, I would do that in a heartbeat. That'd be very cool. I would love to have Jack Shadow involved in that. SBC says The Burrowers, 2008. Okay, where are we at on the... you know what? I knew that sounded familiar. The Burrowers, 2008. Set in the Wild West, this movie revolves around a rescue party searching for missing settlers, only to discover they are being hunted by mysterious underground creatures. It effectively blends Western and horror elements, creating a tense atmosphere. Very cool. All right, and this has been mentioned. I know Bob mentioned it, and I think some of the others have mentioned it as well. But Bone Tomahawk, very cool movie. I enjoyed this one. 2015. This film follows a small town sheriff and his posse as they embark on a rescue mission to save captives from a cannibalistic tribe. It masterfully combines Western themes with horror, showcasing brutal violence and intense suspense. Yeah, that was a good one. I really didn't know it was going to be like this when I just saw it one night and I checked it out, and very much enjoyed that one. So there we go. That's that for that list. Let's see. Bonus says, yep. Clint Eastwood made his movie debut in Tarantula as the pilot. Then he was in Revenge of the Creature. Next as a lab assistant. Yeah, that's neat. I didn't know he was in, what was it, Attack of the... Did someone say he was in Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? Was he really, or he's... Patty says, I am upset yesterday, even though I can get... I had Stream TV app on my router TV. I cannot access it unless I get a certain cable TV membership. There are other Stream TV channels. So because, and I found that out when I was trying to find the Roku or the Roku channel for Stream TV. So I don't know if it's, I don't think that, the Stream TV we're going through has a, I don't think so. I was just with Luke from Stream TV just the other day, working on some stuff, and I didn't hear. I should have asked him about that, but there was so much going on. I didn't stop to think about that. But it would be cool if they had a Roku channel starting up. John says The Hitcher is set in the West with Rutger Hauer. Very cool. John says, by the way, California has the great revamped Creature Feature Show. Check it out on YouTube, you guys. It's so much fun. Fridays and Saturday nights at 11 p.m. So great. Creature Features. Stephanie says, hey y'all, does Tremors count? Well, yeah, somebody mentioned Tremors. I think there's one of them that actually takes place in the Western, like an older Western setting. Part 3 maybe? I don't know. But sure. SBC says, The Beast of Hollow Mountain, 1956. This one might even be in the public domain. Well, I'll find out. The Beast of Hollow Mountain. Alright. I had my 20 episodes of ChillerNight Theater picked out. And then while working on dialogue and reviewing them and stuff, one of them I had completely finished. And I was sitting there and I just look over and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling this one. So we'll see. Maybe I'll switch it. But I still have to get a Halloween one. So maybe that'll be it. Ravencroft says, what's the theme for next week? For next week, we have Big Bug movies. Big Bug horror movies for next week. That is, but then after that, we've got a clean slate. So what are you saying? Underwater horrors. Okay. Underwater horror movies. Now, is this is strictly underwater, like, or is this horror movies that take place in the water? But we can do that. Huzzah! I'm so excited for the new Huzzah! I'm so excited for the new ChillerNight shows. Dee says, thank you. I I think you guys are gonna really like it. Patty says, uh, somebody WS gave a theme for next week, but Brian, can you add this one to next open day? What's that one? The underwater horror, or was there another one? We'll just, hey, you guys. Patty says WS gave a theme for, oh, for which one? The underwater horror. If that's what you're, yeah, I'd be happy to. Um, or if there's another one you want after that, lay it on me. He was not in Killer Tomatoes, LOL, Ravencroft says. And John says, I do not think Clint was in Killer Tomatoes. I never heard that. Yeah, if he was, boy, I'll tell you, that was one of those uncredited, maybe. Bob says, I think Tremors counts. A Western doesn't have to be Old West. Exactly. Like I said, like Yellowstone or something, that's all, just kind of the genre, It's definitely a Western creature feature. Ravencroft says, oh, nice, that works too. I don't remember where Tremors took place, so I don't know. But if it fits that category, then by golly, we're taking it. We're including it. Like Tentacles, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Ghost Ship, Ravencroft says. Yeah, okay, so all right, I'll word that a little. Let's see, horror movies that take place in the water, water themed. Come on, you chiller maniacs, you help me out here. Take place in the water, on the water. Oh man, I can't wait for next week with the big bugs next to Godzilla and Gamera. I love them big bug movies. Bonnet says. Ravencroft says, SBC, that's a cool idea. Do basically water horrors. Yeah, water horror movies. Water horror movies. I'll write it down that way. All right. John says, seriously, Creature Feature show on YouTube on Friday and Saturday nights, 11 p.m. Our time is so good. You guys have to check it out. Tangela, the tiny blonde white horror girl, is so cool. They play good movies. Great weekend fun. It's on YouTube now. And so will ChillerNight Theater. Very cool. Has a lot of good shows. A lot of good shows. Patty says, underwater horror. Bonin says, good topic, SBC. Man, you really are picking up some awesome topics. Dee says, how about documentary-style horror films? The first one comes to mind is the Blair Witch Project. But I am writing that one down for the week after. Underwater horror. Who thought of that one? Was that Brian? Who thought of the underwater? Or Ravencroft. Was that Ravencroft? Who thought of that one? Oh, yeah, Ravencroft. Okay. All right. I'd like to know who picked them. Documentary style. That's D. All right. Let me catch up. Stephanie says, I've seen a lot of bug movies. You name it, I've seen it. Let's see. Miss Passivan, that's an awesome topic too. Bennett says. Bob says, tonight's theme is a challenging theme, but it's cool. Have an uncle who likes westerns, but somebody loves horror. Yeah. These are great compromises, and such experiences can bring folks together. Yeah, they really can. They really can. Um, SBC says, I have one. Haunted Gold with John Wayne. Haunted Gold with John Wayne. Was that one of the old like 30s and early 40s? John says Tremors does not count. Wasn't there one of them though that I mean I haven't seen all the Tremors. I'll let you know. Wasn't one of them with the Western theme? I don't know. Somebody here brought that up, and I can neither confirm nor deny that one. How about blaxploitation horror? Patty says, if you want. I mean, long as some people get a little touchy and leave the channel. You know, I've had that happen. Over issues that they chose to read into, you know, some of the movies that were played, and it has happened. So that's one we'll see. We'll see. We'll check it out. It's me, LOL. Al says, how about Killer Bigfoot movies? Killer Bigfoot movies. Alright. Bone John says, watch Creature Features on YouTube. Great, relaxing, fun, all horror stuff. Bone says, I can't watch that Creature Features. That Vincent character isn't funny. Miss Patsavan said about the underwater horror. Yeah, I think that we were talking about what basically water horrors. She was saying. After Ravencroft's brought it up originally about the underwater, and I just wanted to know, like, does that count if it was something that came out of the sea and is now not underwater necessarily? I don't know. Let's see. Patty says, Tremors 1 takes place on a cow ranch. How is that not Westerns? Blaxploitation includes Blackula and Sugar Hill. Yes, that's the first one I thought of, was Blackula. SBC says, Tremors Part 4 is set in the Old West. Dominic says, I'm with you, Bones. I can't watch that show either, but they get away with playing good movies. SBC says, Creature Features do AI upscales the movies. They hurt my eyes. Oh, is that right? Holy cow. We are almost at 9 o'clock. Okay, again, next week's theme will be Big Bug Horror Movies. Courtesy of SBC. Thinking of that topic, as well as tonight's topic. He was the one who came up with the Western horror movies as well. So, SBC says Blackula was a funny one. Bob says, Hoagie, folks looking for offense will always find it, whether it's there or not. Absolutely. As far as black exploitation, if it's by black folks with black actors and it's made for and by folks, Southern folks, and they're the ones making the money and having a laugh, who cares? I wholeheartedly agree with that. I don't typically care, but I have had people get you know, if you're looking for you know, the devil under a rock, you're gonna find it. And I've had people do that. I've had people do that. To my surprise, I really, really was like, well, then you are, you know, good luck to you. But I really, you know, I'm okay with you leaving if you're that uptight about things like this. So if you're looking for, if you're whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find, you know, if you look hard enough. So. John says, you have been entertained by viewing Chiller Night Live with Bryan Hogue for another night. This is Crozak the Grand reminding you to get your stomping boots ready for next week's show. Yeah. And subject on bug horror movies. Until then, remember to stay chilled and keep thrilled. I like it. SBC says to Raymond, Bona is here. You have to switch to live chat. Oh, Bonus says, I'm here, Raymond. I yelled at you earlier. Hey, Raymond. I do see. Raymond Cross says, people are very easily upset today. It's too bad. Life is too short to look for ways to be offended. Yeah. Yeah, I know it. Now, you know, a lot of things I just let slide. I don't really care for most things. Unless it's an all-encompassing type of insult or something that is you know, there was so much of that, you know, and this is not this is never going to be a political. I won't allow that here at all. But boy, there was some a lot of ugliness a couple years ago during this last election, and I actually, you know, if you voted for Trump, you can unfriend me now. Like, okay. See ya. That's fine. I mean, if you're that, you know, if that's how you want it. Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you, but you know, gotta go. Stay safe, all. Patty says. Good night, Patsy. Patty Ravencroft says, yeah. All right. Well, we just have a few minutes, so. Again, I want to remind everybody that coming up in June, we'll be having new Chiller Night Theater episodes. And also, a bit of a nice little extra companion YouTube channel will be started up. And I'm actually doing projects that are running parallel to each other, and they involve Jack Shadow. So I think you'll be entertained. I hope you'll be entertained. And I hope you enjoy it. Ravencroft says, I left so many groups because of politics. I don't define myself by the last person I voted for. It's a sad way to live. Yeah, I don't care who anybody voted for. I don't care. But if you're calling a group of people, you know, you're Nazis, or you're mega bottom feeders, or this and that, I have no time for you. I don't care for most things, but when you're starting to sound like the people that you're accusing others of being, then I don't want nothing to do with you. You're welcome on here as long as you keep that poison out of our chats. We don't want that here. You get that right now. Let's see. I miss the good old days when you could joke around and people laughed. They didn't get all bent out of shape. I know. Let's see. Later Gators, Raymond says. Stephanie says, take care, y'all, and see you next week. SBC says, night, everyone. Stay safe and have nice horror dreams of the Old West. All right. Sounds good, folks. We had another outstanding, stellar episode of Chiller Night Live. So thank you for joining me and each other. And have a very happy Easter, everybody. I hope you have a happy Easter, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Have a good night. Have a good